I'm Clare Cooley. My son, Bodie Werner, the movie maker, does all the technical part. And he's been doing some of the creative part recently as well, which is really fun. Today is going to be an unusual show. Instead of showing me making art, which I will get back to, in front of you guys, I'm going to show what I've done with the basement. It's extremely important as people, and especially as creatives, that we stay flexible. Helping Bodie with his series, his movie with 20 people and 40 containers and all of that. I injured my right arm. It's healing nicely, but I have observed that if I rest it, it can heal all the way. And as much as I love painting and drawing and all of that, it's been really healing to take a break from it. So what I've done with my time and energy is make a space I can create in. It has many uses, and we're going to show you a quick little video of the basement before and now. It's not done, but it's really far along the way to being a delightful space I get to work in, play in, rest in, rejuvenate in. There's a shop and a framing room and weights and a bathtub and bathroom, spa. So from ping pong to painting to creating props for movies, it's being fixed up to be all that. So what are we looking at now?
So this is the cellar. I'm gonna, oops, 1 second, my bad. It disappeared for a second. So we are looking at Final Cut Pro here. I'm gonna turn my camera on so they can hear me.
All right. Hi everybody. So we are looking at Final Cut Pro. I'm gonna let her talk, but this is the scary and spooky cellar in our historic home here. These are gonna be the before shots so that you'll be able to see what it looks like, what it looked like when we moved in. So you'll be really blown away when you see what she's done with the place. And I'm gonna turn it back over to you, Mom, and you tell me when you're ready for me to then go to the way it looks now.
Do we have more than just this of the before?
Yes, I'm going to play it.
Okay, play it. And
so neither of us have seen this footage in 1 second.
it was about 10 years ago. We bought the house, and the cellar was a moldy pit. The support beams were hanging from the joists, not touching the floor because they'd rotted, the wood had rotted from the leaking. So the first thing we did was we broke out the cement that was listing toward the house and directing all the runoff from the roof into the foundation. We broke that cement out, got it out of here, and sloped it away from the house with some landscape fabric and rock on top of it, the swale. So to get the house to drain away from the foundation. This is really bad. I can barely see what it is, but I don't know if they can see it better. But really rough. We put in 22 jack posts after we took out the rotten support beams that were hanging from the support system of the house instead of holding it up. So we've got 22 jack posts because I thought if I'm going to overdo something, the foundation is a great thing to overdo. So yeah, lots of detritus, 30 years of nobody dealing with it. And it's part of the reason I could afford the house, and because we did it all ourselves, we didn't have to hire any contractors to do it. We could afford it as a couple of artists. So you could say what you're doing there, because it's hard for me to see on this laptop with these lights in my eyes. So you talk about what you're doing, and then we move on.
So in this footage here, I'm in what we call the Harry Potter bedroom, which is this kind of crawl space right next to under our front door. And we were removing the concrete floor, or a portion of it, because it had so much water had gotten into the basement that the floor was breaking up in places. And as you can see, we're poking a support beam with a broom there because there was just so many bits and pieces of the cellar were rotten. And this is what it looked like shortly after we moved all of our belongings in. It became our storage facility. And but this gives you an idea of what the walls looked like before, when we first moved in. And so I'll turn it over to you.
Let's go to what it looks like now. What I've been using my time and work energy for is making the cellar into a space that, as I said, we can work in, we can rest in. And so you're going to see that footage now, right?
Yes, give me 1 moment. We're going to share.
Yeah. So what's important as people and as creatives especially, as I said, is to stay flexible. So I decided not to do the pen and ink drawing, which is very precise, and you got to hold your muscles until my arm heals. So I used my time to take the cellar to the next level. Now here's what it looks like today, on its way to everything in life can change, but on its way to done. What you just saw to the right was like 120 different images of my art in cards in glassine hanging from these scrims I made, which I love this because you can kind of see through them, so it doesn't make the space feel smaller or cramped, but it gives you all this area, like over, I think, 120 different images of my art in this one little area that I'm going to bring my fancy drafting table somebody gave me years ago down into that space, so that it's another area I could work. And if the living room here at the Emerald Lady is being used for something else, or I can work down there and leave it spread out in that space. And then this space in the cellar is now a work table and a ping pong table, because you really need a little ping pong in the middle of winter. I do, anyway.
Hi, Meg. Meg Litz is saying stuff. We're going to get to your comments right after her little tour here.
Oh, great. Nice you're here, Meg. That's really nice. I was just thinking lovely things about you this morning. And so now what we have down there, and I like taking a big space like this and dividing it into, there's the table we can ping pong, spread out a big project on. I'm really looking forward to a time of having art parties here, sometimes with people my age, sometimes with kids. I love making creative projects with kids. They're still so free, and I like getting back there and being inspired to get back there by those who are still there, children. May we all keep our childlike wonder alive. So in the bathroom here, which is in process, and then in the alcove is the weights. What we've done is put these lights that were on an enormous sale after the holidays across the beams, and it just really twinkles it up down there, just with the dark beams that we took the rotten, broken sheetrock off the ceiling so the house would breathe, and we have no mold, no mildew, no leaking almost ever. Once we had a nice dam issue we dealt with, but it's all healthy air now. And that's a little section in there that I can do still lifes, table, decor, another area for creating. And here's the frame room we're going into right now without the lights on, so it's a little hard to see, but I have a mat cutter, I can join corners, I can frame, and I have some of my my posters. Oh, lights went on. Posters and stationery and books and such, my art products. So it's a very functional space. I have towers that have kids' art supplies in one tower, another is craft supplies, another is, all about framing. This was my first study of Essence of Everything, inspired by the Four Seasons. That was my first test, which I keep down there. So there's a lot going on. I'm very big on organizations so that there can be a lot going on. And we are creative generalists and movie makers, and you need to be able to make things, fix things, invent things, and refresh yourself. So when we go out, right to the left there'll be a hammock. So you didn't really see it in that view. Let's see, there it is. You can see the hammock. So you can even take a rest down there. And now we're going into the shop, which has the power equipment and the building supplies, and I try to, as you can see, we label containers and try to keep stuff organized, because one of the frustrating things about being a creative can be finding your tools or your materials. So I like to organize and keep it functional, organized enough so you find things quick, so when you get the inspiration you can go right to it. That piece of etched glass is my very first, over 50 years ago, collection of art that I sold and displayed in my first commercial art, in the hanging from a tree down in the Park Point show. So it's full circle to come back here, live here this last 10 years with my creative son, and now we're doing it, all this creativity from home decor and writing and movie making, and pretty cool. So there we go. So this, what was a funky, moldy, had no use, they dealt with it by keeping the doors closed, which made, of course, the mold and those issues worse. And we just took all that moldy stuff out. And I did this little stenciled scrim there to cover the pipes. So, work with whatever you have. This is a big old home, but I've lived in a tent, I've lived in a teepee, I've lived out of my little Renault Dauphine. So it's not how big the space is, whether it's restorative to be in it, it's what you do with it. I love the green bamboo that I hung in the middle there because I find that color really refreshing at this time of year. And so there we go. I think they got the gist of it. You can frame, have a shop, a big table that turns into a ping pong table, a hammock, a weight section, a bathroom spa area, and soon the drawing table will go down there, and or creativity retreat guests or friends or whatever, little kids next door can be making art down there. All right?
There you go. They saw the whole thing.
Cool. Now, there were some comments that...
Yes, a few.
Okay.
So, hello there, Meg Litz. How you doing? She said, incredible. I'm going to catch you up on them because she put quite a few. Glad your arm is healing. Ah, that's nice.
Thank you.
The diversity of your creativity, both of you, is impressive. Thank you. Perfect spooky cellar. It was indeed. This is incredible. Your foresight and planning to have the rough footage is incredible. Thank you. And now what a gift that neglect has become in your brilliant minds. And now what a gift that neglect has become in your brilliant minds.
Oh, that's quotable.
That is, that's a good one. And then she said, wow, you truly find and create a canvas from anything, anywhere.
Thank you. What a high compliment. That's a...
I agree.
Very lovely, lovely, lovely. And, well, that's, when you watch little kids, they can pick up anything and make it into a game or a project. And that's what I want to keep alive. And that's what I want to hopefully inspire and give some information on how to do that. And I find one of the things that I decided very young in life was that I wanted to have a life full of purpose, and that was more important to me than prosperity. And purpose for me is all about, there are the healing arts and there's the arts that heal. By writing, we can do our own therapy. By painting, dancing, singing, playing an instrument, designing a space, we're expressing our emotions, stimulating our immune system, healing ourselves. And we can make beautiful gifts for others or beautiful, hopeful insights and inspiration for others to do the same. And the more creative resourcefulness we have, well, the wealthier we are. And people have always thought I came from wealth, even though I'm looking at these paintings I'm doing now, resting my arm, not doing today. And my first home outside my mother was a Quonset hut. People have always thought I came from wealth, or that I am wealthy, no matter what stage in my life I was at, which most all had very limited money resources. But somehow, I never borrowed money. Nobody else really took care of me financially. And I took in my 2 nephews and my beautiful, sickly, kind mother, who lived with me till she passed. And somehow I could support us, borrowing no money and not putting money first, and always putting the purposeful creation of what I alone can give the world, my imagination. Like, the world can't have yours unless you give it to us. So I'm very much in favor of that. And I think it's the gift any of us can give the world is what we have collated, all we've experienced and seen and felt and smelled and tasted and touched into our own art. Nobody else can do that. So that's why I became a creativity coach in my 20s, and I love helping, inspiring, motivating, or just giving people a kick in the ass when they need it, or helping organize them so they can get to the creativity.
Right. And Meg said, watching and listening to you makes me realize that art doesn't have to cost a lot and can be done literally anywhere. I have appreciated all your videos over the years to show and model the power of art and creativity and how accessible it can be.
Thank you. Wow. I love what you say to me. I love your acknowledgments. What lovely feedback. And I do need that. And you just really filled my reservoir of appreciation right up.
Mm-hmm. Very well spoken and supportive words.
And I want to say something about that. If we can see the beauty around us, if we have the mindset, use what we have, not what I've heard many people do is, I don't have enough time, I don't have enough money, I don't have enough resources, space. My first creative expressions were dance, because you don't need anything but a little room. And for me, I needed privacy. So I was wait till I was alone and go dance in the sprinkler on hot days and things like that. But whatever you have, there's something you can create with it. A pencil, paper, an eraser is nice. Something to sharpen the pencil with is nice, but that's really all you need. And if you say, I'm not going to buy anything, I'm not going to yearn for things I don't have, I'm going to look around me, what do I have to work with? You not only walk lighter on the planet, we all know we need that, but you also walk lighter through your financial resources to have them for things you can't find around you, that you need the money for. So if you look around you and say, what do I have to work with? You're stretching your imagination, your creative resourcefulness by using what you have, not if only I had that, or when I get that, or if I get this many funds. Use whatever you have, and they call it creative reverie because it's a peaceful state. So just being in that peaceful state, expressing whatever emotions we need to express, and as people, it's pretty much all of them, hopefully the pleasant ones more often, but even the unpleasant ones have their positive purpose, and all of them are good because of that. Just go quickly through the unpleasant ones and luxuriate in the pleasant ones. And for me, that's creating. And I am painting my life story because I got a grant from, writing my memoir because people asked me to. And it's a fascinating self-reflection process to see what images tell my life story. So I'm really enjoying the process. It's deeply enlightening. And I'll share one thing right away here, that I was like, these beautiful images from your childhood. You had pretty much, your mother was, is, even though she's long since passed, just always kind, supportive, intelligent, funny, cute. She was everything wonderful. But everything else about my childhood was chaotic, unpredictable, dangerous, pretty much. But I have all these beautiful images from my childhood that are coming out in these paintings. And I'm like, how is that possible for a person that never had a birthday party or Christmas or friends over or friends and blah, blah, blah? Well, it's what I focused on. And I did have my mother. Maybe without her, I would have just fallen into the dark and never come back out. But because of her, I could choose what I focused on. And so I found beauty in simple things. That's what I wish more than anything else I could just give to everybody. Find beauty in the simple things around you, collect them, and take care of them, and take care of yourself by doing things that give you peace. And I love what Bodhi said when I asked him to help me with this painting that's got this outer space, very dark outer space. And he said, when there isn't a delete button, you really have to slow down. And so drawing with a pencil, pen and ink, painting, carving, etching, it doesn't matter. You have to slow down. And that's what I think we have epidemic levels of rushiness. People, many years ago, everybody used to answer when I'd say, how you doing? Busy. And I'm like, why is everybody busy? And people say I have more art than anyone they've ever seen. And I'm not busy. I am productive and I am focused, but I do fool around and stop and play games and watch movies and take walks and all that. So it's not being busy, it's being focused that helps us the most. So that's enough, huh?
Fantastic.
Oh, let me say something about this outfit. Every live stream I try to wear something I've made. This is stencil I made of a ginkgo leaf, and it's on the bottom of the dress. I don't know if you can actually see that, but it's also on the jacket, and I make the jewelry. And I had this I want to share. I have one thing in my whole collection of clothes that I got at a department store. Everything else is things people gave me. I found it used stores, deals. I do buy socks and some under things new, but everything else is from used stores. And I just make them into what I want, which is, expresses me, my style and my taste, and makes it art to wear, because nobody else has a jacket like this with these silver ginkgo leaves. So how simply we can share who we are, even by the way we dress or our jewelry or what we choose to talk about, not just our art and our decor in our homes or workplaces, but how we are in the world. So there we go.
And Meg said, yes, productive is so much healthier than busy.
Thank you. Yeah, we can only do one thing at a time. So I love art because you know it. Yeah. And I want to, for Bodhi to share something that he's been working on recently. And the tie-in, besides that we are Mother-Son Productions, he named us, he asked me to work with him. Is that helping him do his second episode in Northport, 1999, is when I innocently injured my arm by thinking, oh, you know, I can pick that up, I can carry that, I can keep working all day and handle these, 40 containers and 20 people, make sure everybody's safe and fed and all that, and keep up with all these 30-year-olds. Well, guess what? My body said, get humble. And so now I'm not going to pick up heavy things on sets anymore. And Bodhi's going to show you some of the result of that. And I love people getting together and collaborating creatively. And it's so great to help my son organize his thinking, get it done, and share his art with the world. So show him something.
What would you like me to show?
Any of your recent, talk about what happened recently, and while I go get some water, maybe you can show in there and,
Sure.
and show one of your recent successful learning how to, well, we're creative generous, we're learning how to promote ourselves and how to share it and reach people.
Yes, and Meg said, so I'll catch you up. She said, our focus affects everything, what we choose to see and be alert for. And then she said, so proud of you, Bodhi. Oh, shucks. Thank you.
Nice. I'm going to show you the coat.
Let me zoom in on it.
So this is the stencil coat.
Uh-huh.
These are little ginkgo leaves.
These are ginkgo leaves, and here's it on the dress. And then I have a matching ensemble that no one in the world has the same one.
Yep. Fantastic.
Yes. All right, you share something. I'm going to get some water.
All right. I'm gonna go into the office and we'll I'll be right with you.
Okay. Here I am. Let me turn on this ring light. Turn on the ring light. Ring light. Okay, there we go. Ring light's on. So yeah, let's we've been kind of blowing up on TikTok and Instagram and, well, all of them recently. So let's show the most recent video. This is actually got a little behind the scenes of Girl Scout and Tomboy. Our amazing VFX artist, Brian White. Where did that go? Here it is. Found it. Alright, we're going to show a new video. Our amazing VFX artist, Brian White, helped us create a tree that we could safely push over for the movie. Go to my TikTok. All right, looking to see you and you.
Okay. Did you show him something?
Not yet. I'm going to play this video.
Good. Do it.
We're making an episodic series here in Duluth. It's inspired by Stranger Things, Twin Peaks, X-Files, and for episode 2, Girl Scout and Tomboy, we needed a tree to fall. At first, we actually considered pushing over a real dead tree, but that's obviously dangerous, could harm the actors and crew.
You could have killed me!
So we decided to make a VFX gag instead. We reached out to the community looking for materials that we could use to make a fake dead tree. And you all showed up with recycled materials, including these cardboard tubes. That is why I love Duluth. So we built a prototype to test the idea, and boy was it glorious. But we realized that this cardboard tube tree was really heavy. To make it tall enough, it was still going to be dangerous, and it was going to break when we pushed it over. That's when we talked to our VFX artist, filmmaker, teammate, Brian White, and he suggested something smarter. Use a simple 2x4, mark it with tracking tape, and then replace it with a 3D model in post. So that's exactly what we did. What do you think of the results? If you want more information about the Northport episodic series being made right here in Duluth, Minnesota, then follow me.
All right,
We're
there we
making
go.
an
That was
episodic
that.
Great. Okay. Well, so it's so exciting and challenging and all of it to be working in movies is the art form that can combine all the others: choreography, music, writing, script, set design, costumes. You know, there's obviously great movies have their own creative
Yes.
style and such. So it's really exciting and to keep learning. And I have great comfort and familiarity with all the most basic, simple tools, the ancient tools. And my son has this facility with all these modern and technological. So it's an interesting combination, but I'm learning. I even tried Mario Kart. I'm ridiculously bad, one would expect. I keep saying left thumb, you're steering, right thumb, you're the gas. You don't have to press it all the time.
Inner video games. Miglet said, one of the most powerful aspects both of your work has been how you have built collaborations and community. And yeah, without community, you know, these projects wouldn't be anywhere near as beautiful. And as you saw in the video, the community showed up to help us make the tree and all sorts of aspects of the short film and the previous short film. And
Yeah, it takes a team, takes a village to raise a piece of art. Yeah.
sure does. And you're part of that village. We're grateful to have you.
Yeah, we're here out of the whole country because of the community and the appreciation for creativity here and the ethos of just basic civility. And we help each other. Even, I love the quote of the young man, you know, we help our neighbors even if we don't like them. Wow, what a beautiful way to be in a world that really needs that. So my father was born here. I've just met wonderful people I fell in love with. I came back for a visit and I ended up starting my teaching career because 9 people in one day asked me to, and I didn't have the confidence to think I knew anything, not having an education formally myself. But I wrote my own curriculum. It was so rewarding, so gratifying. And I said to Bodie when it was time for us to leave the West Coast, Duluth is the top of my list, but you have to pick it too, because I don't want you mad at me in the middle of winter if we're working together and living together. So he had to come 3 times before he said, you didn't exaggerate. People are as kind as you said they were. Not everybody's kind anywhere, but there is a beautiful feeling here that permeates most people in situations where we do collaborate, and that's where I want to be, where people are, well, nice. Okay, Bo? I think somebody might be outside the house and he's looking from the other end of the house. Is it all good? Can't hear me. Well, I'm just going to keep talking about collaboration. No matter how good any one of us is at anything, like this black and white I'm going to do with pen and ink next because a guest suggested, why don't you do that one in black and white? And I thought, oh, that's a great idea. I didn't have it, she said it, and I saw it. And then I realized, well, that's where I started with Sumi brushstroke as a meditation. And then I did pen and ink drawings when the birds left in the winter, essence lines, a line that looked like it could fly, plants that looked like they grew, and lines that, you know, looked like they were growing on the page. So I gave myself, my own art school, these assignments. And now all these years later, I'm going to do a black and white with pen and ink as soon as my right arm is totally healed, which is coming up. But meanwhile, I think it's time for us to wrap it. And was there something coming in that you wanted to say?
Meg said, powerful combination.
Nice.
Oh, and again, such a great inspiration, example of focus, the internal creative interplay with the external canvas.
Nice.
Wow, I love it.
You're a real wordsmith, Meg.
Yep.
Nice. Thank you for all of that. And thank you, Bodhi, for all your help. And we will be back Wednesday at noon, Wednesdays and Sundays at noon Central Time. And I am greatly looking forward to doing this pen and ink in front of you because it's a very, meditative, soothing, while creating something that can be very dramatic. Telling a story with a piece of paper is it's inspirational to me. And I like to see where it's going to go. All right. Thank you so much, Bo.
Yep, thank you.